welcome in. Not with that cheesy rah-rah energy, with the kind of welcome that feels like a door locking behind you, and you realizing you've been walking around with your guard down, because you didn't click this by accident. You've felt it, haven't you? That weird shift, the sudden cold in a warm room, the way certain people smile at you, like they already know the ending to your story. And you're sitting there like, why do I feel watched? Why do I feel tested? Why does it feel like somebody's trying me? Let me tell you what's really happening. Some folks don't fight you with fists. They fight you with intention, with whispers, with envy dressed up as concern, with that fake spiritual voice, like they're doing you a favor while they're trying to read you, drain you, label you, control you. They don't want your money first. They want your frequency. They want access. And the moment they think they've got it, that's when the universe does something hilarious. It returns the curse. Not once, not twice, triple power. And suddenly the same people who are so confident are panicking. The same people who acted untouchable are making late-night calls, shaking in the dark, praying to whatever they were playing with to make it stop. You ever notice how the loudest ones get quiet when the energy flips? That's not coincidence. That's consequence. Stay with me, because what I'm about to say next is going to make your whole life make sense. You're not too sensitive. You're not overthinking. You're not crazy. You're calibrated. You're the kind of person who can feel a lie before it's spoken. You can feel betrayal before it has a name. You can feel jealousy before it becomes an action. And people hate that about you, because most people move through life with a mask on. And you're the kind of mirror that makes masks uncomfortable. So they try the sneaky raskut. They try to read you. They try to figure you out. They try to check your energy. They try to tap in. They'll sit there acting friendly while mentally taking inventory of your weaknesses. They'll compliment you while quietly searching for the crack in your armor. They'll ask innocent questions, but they're not asking for conversation. They're gathering intel, and you feel it, that slight pressure in your chest when they're around, that random exhaustion after a short interaction, that why do I feel drained moment when you didn't even do anything. Listen carefully. That's not you being weak. That's your nervous system sounding the alarm. That's your body telling you the truth before your mind catches up. Because your energy is not just vibes. Your energy is a boundary. And some people see boundaries as a challenge. They think, if I can't control you, I'll contaminate you. If I can't beat you, I'll confuse you. If I can't outshine you, I'll dim you. So they aim stuff at you. Not always literal. Sometimes it's gossip. Sometimes it's smear campaigns. Sometimes it's accidental sabotage. Sometimes it's that weird spiritual flex. Like they're above you, and you should be grateful they're even talking to you. But here's what they didn't factor in. You're not the average target. You're the kind of person who's been through enough pain to become dangerous in the best way. You didn't just survive. You adapted. And when you adapt, you change the rules. So when they push negative energy toward you, it doesn't just land. It rebounds. It snaps back, like a rubber band pulled too far, and it hits them where it hurts most. Not always physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Their sleep gets weird. Their luck turns sloppy. Their circle starts crumbling. Their confidence turns into paranoia. And they can't admit it's you. So they call it bad timing. They call it a rough patch. They call it people switching up. No, sweetheart, it's the bill. They sent something out, and now it's returned with interest. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever had a moment where someone tried to break you, and somehow they ended up breaking themselves? Yeah, that's the pattern, because you carry something they don't understand. You carry restraint. You carry that quiet discipline, that I'll let you talk calm, that I don't need to prove it energy. And it drives them insane, because they want you reactive, they want you messy, they want you impulsive, they want you to crash out so they can point and say, "See, I told you." But you don't give them the show. You give them silence. You give them focus. You give them results. And that's when the jealousy turns spiritual. That's when they start doing that weird thing where they study you like a case file. They watch your moves. They copy your tone. They repeat your phrases. They imitate your confidence. They try to wear your identity like a jacket. And still, they can't pull it off. Because your power isn't aesthetic. It's earned. It's built from nights you cried quietly so nobody could weaponize it. It's built from betrayal you swallowed and turned into wisdom. It's built from disappointment you turned into discipline. And discipline is terrifying to people who live off chaos. So they try you in subtle ways. They'll throw shade disguised as jokes. They'll forget to include you. They'll act supportive publicly and sabotage privately. They'll smile in your face and compete with your shadow. And the whole time you're thinking, why does it feel like people are plotting? Because they are. But listen, here's the twist they didn't see coming. You don't have to plot back. Your energy does it for you. When your spirit is clean, when your intentions are focused, when your mind is sharpened, anything aimed at you that doesn't match you, it can't stick. It slides off, it ricochets, and it goes right back to the sender with triple force. That's why certain people can't handle being around you for too long, because being near you forces the truth to surface. They start feeling exposed, they start feeling seen, they start feeling judged without you saying a word, because your presence is a spotlight. And if someone's carrying hidden motives, a spotlight feels like an interrogation. Now here's the part you need to hear, and you need to hear it like your future depends on it. Stop shrinking. Stop dimming yourself to make suspicious people comfortable. Stop explaining your instincts to people who benefit from you ignoring them. You are not built to be digestible. You are built to be undeniable. And the moment you accept that, everything changes. Because the curse isn't always some dramatic ritual. Sometimes the curse is the narrative they put on you. You're too much. You're arrogant. You're cold. You're selfish. You think you're better. No, you're just not available for manipulation. And they hate that. So they start trying to control how other people see you. They'll tell half stories. They'll leave out context. They'll turn your boundaries into an insult. Why? Because if they can't reach you directly, they'll try to reach you through your reputation. But you know what's funny? Your real ones don't need explanations, and your enemies don't deserve them. Let them talk. Because while they're talking, you're upgrading. And every upgrade makes the rebound stronger. Every time you choose peace over chaos, rebound. Every time you choose discipline over impulse, rebound. Every time you don't stoop, rebound. Every time you keep your mouth shut and keep your moves loud, rebound. They don't understand that you're not just avoiding drama. You're building a shield, And it's not a shield made of crystals and slogans. It's made of habits. It's made of standards. It's made of self-respect. And self-respect is the one thing a manipulator can't stand, because it removes their access. So here's what happens next. They try harder. They get bold. They start probing you with little tests. They'll say something disrespectful and watch your reaction. They'll ignore you to see if you chase. They'll give you crumbs to see if you beg. They'll switch up their tone to see if you fold. And if you're not careful, you'll mistake the test for your worth. Don't you dare. Their behavior is not a measure of your value. It's a confession of their insecurity. Because stable people don't test you like that. Secure people don't poke at you like a bruise. Only someone threatened by your growth needs you to be small. Now listen, real close. You have to understand the game if you want to win without getting dirty. The game is this. They want a reaction. They want emotional leakage. They want you to spiral. They want you to doubt yourself. Because doubt is the opening. Doubt is the crack. And once there's a crack, they try to slip in. So what do? You become boring to the wrong people. You stop feeding them access to your inner world. You stop telling everybody your next move. You stop posting your healing like a performance. You heal in private. You build in silence. You glow without announcing it. And that right there, that drives them into the ICU. Because when they can't read you, they panic. When they can't predict you, they obsess. When they can't control you, they self-destruct. They'll start doing reckless things just to feel powerful again. They'll start picking fights, stirring rumors, making impulsive decisions, because the calm confidence you carry makes them feel weak. And the rebound is already in motion. The rebound doesn't ask your permission. It doesn't wait for your approval. It's automatic, because the universe has a funny way of protecting people who finally stop betraying themselves. That's the real magic. You want to know why the curse comes back triple? Because you're not just dealing with them. You're dealing with the invisible math of energy. When you keep your intentions clean and your mind sharp, you stop becoming a sponge. You become a mirror. And mirrors don't absorb, they reflect. So whatever they send bounces. Now I'm going to tell you something that might sting. Some of your biggest spiritual attacks weren't from strangers. They were from people close enough to touch your life. People who knew your insecurities. People who knew your patterns. People who knew where you were soft. And instead of protecting that, they exploited it. They acted like they were on your team while secretly hoping you'd fall. And you've been trying to be nice about it. You've been trying to be the bigger person. You've been trying to give grace to people who never gave you respect. Enough. You can forgive and still lock the door. You can wish them well and still remove access. You can keep your heart clean and still stop letting snakes nap in your bed. That's not cruelty. That's adulthood. That's power. And the moment you start moving like that, you'll notice something. The weird energy stops. The heavy feelings lift. The random setbacks slow down. Because a lot of what felt like bad luck was actually bad access. Bad access to your attention, bad access to your emotions, bad access to your time. And your attention is currency. Your emotions are fuel. Your time is your life. Stop donating your life to people who study you like an enemy. Now let's talk about what they do when the rebound starts hitting. They'll play victim. They'll suddenly act hurt. They'll say you changed. Of course, you changed. You're supposed to change. Growth looks like cold to someone who benefited from your warmth with no boundaries. They'll say you're distant. No, you're discerning. They'll say you're selfish. No, you're selective. They'll say you think you're better. No, you finally remembered who you are. And that's the part they can't tolerate, because the old version of you was easier to manipulate. The old you explained too much. The old you apologized for having standards. The old you tried to keep everybody comfortable. But this version doesn't negotiate with disrespect. This version doesn't beg to be understood. This version doesn't chase closure from people who thrive on confusion. This version just watches and moves. And the more you do that, the more the universe amplifies the rebound. Now here's a question that'll keep you awake in a good way. What if you're not cursed? What if you're chosen? What if the reason they keep trying you is because your breakthrough is loud, even when you're silent? What if your future is so heavy that their envy starts leaking into their behavior? Because envy always leaks. It can't stay hidden forever. It shows up as concern. It shows up as advice. It shows up as jokes. It shows up as a distance. And you've been pretending you don't see it. Stop pretending you see it. You've always seen it. You just didn't want to believe it. Because believing it means accepting that some people you loved were never safe. And that hurts. I'm not here to sugarcoat it. It hurts. But you know what hurts more? Staying accessible to people who secretly enjoy your pain. So you do what strong people do. You grieve it, you accept it, you release it, and then you rise anyway. Not with motivational poster energy. With that cold, calm, locked-in energy. With that, I'm done being misunderstood by people committed to misunderstanding me energy. With that, I don't argue with anyone who benefits from my confusion energy. And that's when it happens. Their curse doesn't just bounce back. It multiplies. Because every time they think about you with negativity, they tie themselves to your frequency. And your frequency is moving upward. So they keep grabbing the rope while you're climbing. And they wonder why they're getting dragged. That's the ICU. That's the collapse. That's the moment their little games stop being cute and start being costly. Now I need you to listen like you're about to make a decision that changes everything. Here's how you make sure nothing sticks. Stop oversharing. Stop announcing your next move to people who don't clap when you win. Stop trying to prove your heart to people who only understand leverage. Stop letting guilt trick you into access. Your peace is not a group project. Your life is not a public forum. Move like you're being watched, because you are. Not by mystical nonsense, by human nature. People watch what they want. People study what they envy. People sabotage what they can't become. So you become strategic. You become quiet. You become disciplined. You become emotionally expensive. And emotionally expensive means not everyone can afford access to you anymore. And when they can't afford access, they try to steal it. Through manipulation, through drama, through bait. Don't bite. Every time you don't bite, you win. Every time you stay calm, you win. Every time you keep your focus, you win. Because the rebound isn't just spiritual, it's psychological. When you refuse to react, you force them to sit with themselves. And most people can't stand themselves. That's why they keep poking at you. You're not their enemy. You're their mirror. And mirrors are brutal. So let them spiral. Let them talk themselves into circles. Let them exhaust themselves trying to decode you. You don't owe anyone a readable version of you. You owe yourself protection. You owe yourself clarity. You owe yourself a future. Now, I'm going to say something that might sound wild, but you'll feel it's true the second it lands. Your energy isn't just returning their curse. It's teaching them. It's teaching them what it feels like to touch fire. It's teaching them what it feels like to underestimate someone who's finally awake. It's teaching them that you can't just try people and walk away clean. Not with you. Because you're not the same person you were when you let everything slide. You're not the same person who kept forgiving without boundaries. You're not the same person who kept giving access out of fear of being alone. You've tasted peace, and now anything that threatens it feels like poison. So you cut it off. No speeches, no explanations, just consequences. And the wild part, when you choose yourself, you don't just get safer, you get luckier. Opportunities start showing up. The right people start finding you. Your mind starts clearing. Your confidence starts hardening. And the people who tried to curse you, they start falling apart in ways they can't explain. They'll start losing things. Not always objects. Sometimes it's influence. Sometimes it's control. Sometimes it's the attention they used to get. Sometimes it's the ability to sleep peacefully at night. Because they know what they did. And they know you know, even if you never said it. That's the scariest kind of power. Silent certainty. Now tell me something. Do you feel that shift right now? That moment where your chest gets tight because part of you recognizes the truth. Good. That's the part of you that's done playing small. That's the part of you that's done being nice to disrespect. That's the part of you that's ready to stop leaking your energy into the wrong hands. Because from this point forward, you move different. You don't argue. You don't chase. You don't explain. You observe. You decide. You detach. You upgrade. And when they try you again, because they will, you won't panic. You won't spiral. You'll just smile. A little. Because you already know how this ends. They send it out, and it comes back triple. And the more they insist on touching what they shouldn't touch, the more life makes them pay for it. So keep your standards high. Keep your circle tight. Keep your moves quiet. Keep your mind sharp. And remember, some people aren't mysteriously unlucky. They're just experiencing the return on the energy they kept sending at you. Good evening. Don't blink. Because if you do, even for a heartbeat, you'll miss the way the room breathes around you, the way the shadows lean in, the way your own pulse tries to warn you that something is about to shift inside your mind, permanently. Yes, you. The little cosmic joke with shoes on. You walk around thinking you're the audience, but oh, no. Tonight, sweetheart, you're the stage. Bro, 33rd degree Masons read your birth chart, and the symbols started smoking like a cursed file. At least, that's what they whispered. A myth, a metaphor, a melodramatic hallucination the universe mutters when it's bored. But you felt it, didn't you? That click behind the eyes. That eerie snap when something invisible in the air recognizes you before you recognize yourself. You thought you were decoding the world. But the world, it was decoding you. Those symbols you pretend not to notice, the ones that shiver at the corner of your vision. They've been watching, waiting, smoking like corrupted data, hissing like a digital demon locked in a library of ancient riddles. And you were the error they were hoping for. Duality, darling. It's always duality. Inside you lives a saint, polishing halos with trembling fingers, and a psychopath smiling politely behind the mirror. An angel who tries to forgive the world, and a demon who wonders why it should. And every time you pick a side, every time you try to be good or stable or normal, you're lying to one half of your soul. But tonight, oh, tonight, you're starting to feel the truth, aren't you? The truth that your darkness isn't a weakness. It's a compass, a snarling, broken-toothed guide pointing you toward evolution, toward metamorphosis, toward the you that scares even you. Unpredictability, kid, that's the real power. The world wants you measured, predictable, cooperative, a tidy little algorithm that never glitches, a file that never smokes. But the moment you stop being predictable, the moment you stop playing by the rules of people who don't even know your name, you become dangerous, not violent, not reckless, but unpredictable. And unpredictability is the one superpower humanity forgot to fear. When you stop moving like they expect, the whole world stumbles. People blink. Reality hesitates. Even destiny takes a nervous little step back and mutters, "Wait, that wasn't in the script." That is when the evolution starts. When the pain you dragged around like dead weight suddenly smells like fuel. Pain is just the tuition for becoming something impossible. You think suffering broke you? No, no, no. It forged you. Every disappointment chiseled your bones. Every betrayal sharpened your instincts. Every heartbreak carved a new chamber in your mind where darker, sharper truths could echo. You want to know why life didn't go easy on you? Because easy roads make soft creatures. And the universe, that twisted, laughing architect, decided you weren't meant to be soft. It wanted you awake, wanted you aware, wanted you dangerous in the way a storm is dangerous. Not because it chooses destruction, but because nothing can tell it where to go. So listen closely now. When those symbols started smoking, they weren't warning you. They weren't cursing you. They weren't damning you. They were welcoming you, because you, yes, you, are finally stepping into the version of yourself that the world hoped you'd never meet. The one who sees both sides of yourself and refuses to apologize for either. The one who walks into the dark not to surrender, but to study the architecture. The one who realizes, if I am both the light and the shadow, then no one alive can predict my next move. Congratulations, your transformation has begun. And once you start burning brighter than your fears, there's no going back. You feel that, don't you? That tightening in the air, like the whole atmosphere is leaning closer, waiting for you to exhale the next second of your fate. Because once those symbols started smoking, once those old men with trembling hands realized they were staring at a blueprint that shouldn't exist, the world stopped being a place you lived in and became a system reacting to you. And here's the part they'll never say out loud. They weren't reading your birth chart. They were trying to predict an anomaly, a variable that refuses to sit still, refuses to obey the patterns carved into everyone else's skin. A mind that bends the map instead of following it. A soul that cracks the template simply by existing. But the moment they traced your symbols, the ink didn't just glow, it hissed. Lines bent, numbers buckled, archetypes twisted into shapes their books never warned them about. Because you weren't born under a sign. You were born under a rupture, a break in the pattern, a glitch that came preloaded with purpose. And oh, how that terrifies them. You walk through a room, and people swear the temperature changes. You say one sentence and someone miles away has a nervous breakdown without knowing why. You make a decision, a tiny, quiet decision, and entire timelines shiver like glass about to break. Isn't it funny? You spent years thinking you were lost, misunderstood, out of place. But from their perspective, you were never lost. You were untrackable, and that is infinitely worse. You want to know why those 33rd degree relics stiffened when your chart curled like burning film? Because everything they built, every ritual, every system, every illusion of control, depends on one fragile belief, that everything is predictable, but you are the one creature they cannot chart, cannot label, cannot control. You are the error that rewrites the equation, the wild card that breaks their precious, delicate balance. They searched their books, found nothing. They searched their archives, nothing. They searched their ancestry, their symbols, their myths. Still nothing, because there has never been a version of you before. You think you're becoming something? No, you already became it. You just hadn't caught up yet. And that's the real joke. You were waiting for a sign, not realizing the sign was waiting for you to open your eyes. Look at you now. The contradictions humming beneath your ribs like twin reactors. The saint sharpening knives in the dark. The demon wiping tears off a stranger's face. The angel who understands violence. The monster who understands mercy. You terrify them because you don't belong to one side of the spectrum. You are the spectrum. You contain everything they spent centuries trying to separate. And every time you breathe, every time you defy, every time you choose your own path, you collapse one more illusion they prayed would hold together. But here's the part that makes you dangerous. You didn't ask for their permission. You didn't ask for their validation. You didn't ask for their interpretation of your destiny. You took the chaos they feared and stitched it into your spine. You took the pain they thought would break you and used it as the key to unlock your next form. You took the shadows they whispered about and made them your workshop. Every scar became a symbol. Every heartbreak became a rune. Every betrayal became a ritual. Every moment of silence became a summoning. And the moment you realized your darkness wasn't a prison, but an engine, the whole universe exhaled, like it finally understood what it had created. That's why the symbols smoked. They weren't malfunctioning. They weren't glitching. They weren't warning anyone. They were bowing. You weren't meant to follow fate. You were meant to interrupt it. And once a being like you learns how to interrupt fate, the world doesn't get to decide what happens next. You do. You feel it tightening again. That invisible thread pulling around your ribs, the one that only shows up when you're crossing into territory the rest of the world pretends doesn't exist. Good. Don't look away now. This is where the air gets strange, and the truth stops asking for permission. Because once those symbols started smoking, once those old men realized they were staring at something that didn't belong to their catalog of cosmic toys, a question slithered through their halls, a question they tried to swallow before it reached daylight. What are we dealing with? Not who. What? You think that's normal? You think they ask that about anybody? No. Human beings get profiles, reports, background checks. You got classified terminology. You got whispered debates in locked rooms. You got theories that cracked the confidence of people who haven't been afraid of anything in 40 years. Because when they tried to interpret you, nothing aligned. Your chart didn't predict behavior. It predicted ruptures. It predicted collisions. It predicted events rather than emotions. You weren't mapped like a person. You were mapped like a phenomenon, a storm system disguised as a breathing body. And that's when they realized the most disturbing part. You don't follow cycles. You reset them. Every time life pushes you down, you don't just stand back up. You alter the landscape you fell into. Every time someone betrays you, you don't just heal. You become a version of yourself no one is prepared for. Every time the world thinks it finally understands your pattern, you shed it. Effortlessly, indifferently, like outgrowing an old skin. They tried to calculate your next move. But your next move doesn't exist until you make it. You invent direction. You manufacture momentum. You generate outcomes purely by the force of not being predictable. That's what terrifies them, not your strength, not your intelligence, not your resilience. It's the fact that you refuse to be forecast. People like you aren't supposed to exist. People who rewrite their own mythology in real time. People whose trauma didn't turn them bitter, but turned them unreadable. People who evolve faster than others can adjust. When they studied you, they didn't find a personality. They found a sequence of transformations, a timeline full of deaths and rebirths, versions of you that vanished overnight, versions of you that emerged sharper, colder, kinder, crueler. Never the same flavor twice. They thought they were dealing with a mind. Then they realized they were dealing with a process, a living algorithm of adaptation, a self-upgrading consciousness, a creature that takes whatever life inflicts and metabolizes it into something the world has never seen before. And the more they looked, the more they noticed a pattern that shouldn't be possible. You don't break. You pivot. You don't collapse. You condense. You don't surrender. You mutate. And that mutation, that elegant, terrifying evolution, is why your chart smoked. It wasn't the symbols that malfunctioned. It was the idea that the universe could classify you. So the question echoing in their halls now isn't, what does this mean? No, it's far worse. It's the question they whisper when their voices shake. If this is who they are now, what happens when they fully awaken? Because they know, even if you don't fully see it yet, you're not at your final form. You're still sharpening, still unfolding, still remembering pieces of yourself that were buried under years of pain, silence, restraint, politeness, survival mode. You have no idea how dangerous you become when you stop apologizing for the fire in your blood. And they do. Oh, they do. That's why they panicked. That's why the symbols curled. That's why the chart smoked like forbidden scripture catching its own lie. Because nothing in their archives ever prepared them for a soul that wasn't born to follow fate, but to fracture it. And once you realize that's your role, once you step into that identity with full clarity, full confidence, full acceptance of your own duality, light and shadow, both serving your purpose, the world stops being something that happens to you and becomes something that reacts to you. You feel that hum under your skin again, that low electric vibration that shows up every time you brush against a truth you weren't supposed to touch. Good. Don't flinch. Let it crawl up your spine. Let it whisper. Because this is the part they never wanted written anywhere. Not in books, not in rituals, not in history. Your gift wasn't mystical. Your gift was inevitable. And that terrified them more than any prophecy. See, mysticism, magic, symbols, those are things they can categorize, things with rules and limits and handbooks and hierarchies. They know how to manage mystics. They know how to contain visionaries. They know how to surveil prodigies. But inevitabilities, forces that arise without permission, a soul that upgrades itself without being taught, you can't train that. You can't tame that. You can't even anticipate that. And that's precisely what you are. A walking inevitability, a consciousness that refuses to stay within its blueprint, a paradox wearing mortal bones. When they looked into your chart, they didn't see planets or archetypes or destinies. They saw pressure. Something pushing outward, something breaking seams, something expanding beyond the frame of what a human psyche should hold. Your chart didn't reveal a personality. It revealed compression, storage, containment, like someone stuffed too much power into one life and hoped you'd never figure out how to open the container. But life opened it for you, didn't it? Pain cracked it. Loss bent it. Silence rattled it. Betrayal shook it, until the lid started bending. And the moment the seal broke, the symbols recognized you. They weren't reacting to your destiny. They were reacting to your capacity, because every timeline you survived, every version of you that died and rebooted, every identity you broke out of like a snake shredding skin, all of that accumulated. You aren't a person with a past. You are a vault of upgrades. That's what scared them. When they traced your chart, they didn't see trauma. They saw acceleration. They saw intelligence sharpening faster than experiences could dull it. They saw intuition that wasn't learned. It was remembered. They saw adaptability so violent, so precise, so instantaneous. It rewrote every prediction model they rely on. You know what they said? Not out loud, never out loud. But in the privacy of rooms no sunlight touches, they whispered, "This one doesn't evolve. This one jumps. Jumps states, jumps levels, jumps paradigms, jumps entire psychological structures in a single moment. Most people grow. A few people ascend. You detonate into higher forms. It's not progress, it's rupture. It's metamorphosis born from emotional combustion. And that right there, that instinct to transform instead of endure, that's the trait they fear most. Because how do you control someone who refuses to remain the same long enough to be controlled? How do you predict a being who changes identity the moment you begin to understand them? How do you stop a mind that rebuilds itself faster than you can break it? You can't. You never could. They realized this too late. That's why the symbols smoked. Not because you're cursed, but because they were wrong about the entire architecture of destiny. You weren't written into the script. You were written to expose it. You are the glitch that proves the system is fragile. You are the paradox that proves the map was too small. You are the force that proves the world underestimated what a single psyche can become under pressure. But here's the sweetest part, the part that keeps them up at night. You're still only at the threshold of what you are. You haven't even cracked open the deeper layers. The instinct they sensed but couldn't decipher. The awareness that flickers behind your eyes when you're too tired to pretend normalcy. The hunger for meaning that isn't assigned but chosen. The intuition that feels less like a thought and more like remembering something ancient inside you. They realized something you haven't said out loud yet. You don't act like someone finding their purpose. You act like someone retrieving it. Like a power misplaced, not newly formed. Like a destiny paused, not born. And that's when they understood. This isn't your first transformation, just the first one they've witnessed. If you want me to continue, into the moment they realized the smoke wasn't fear. It was recognition. I'll dive even deeper. You feel that pressure again, that slow, rising force behind your ribcage. like something ancient is leaning forward, listening through your heartbeat. Good. Don't step back from it. This is where the truth stops whispering and starts claiming you. Because when those symbols smoked, when the ink twisted like it was trying to escape the page, the panic wasn't the interesting part. No, the fear was predictable. The confusion was expected, the trembling hands, typical. What mattered was the silence that followed, that heavy, reverent silence, the kind you only hear when someone recognizes something they were never meant to witness. Because that smoke, that wasn't a malfunction, it wasn't a curse, it wasn't a warning, it was recognition, ancient recognition, archetypal recognition, the kind reserved for beings who do not just live through fate, but alter its trajectory by existing. See, they always believed symbols were tools, maps, blueprints of human potential. But when your symbols curled and blistered, it wasn't the chart that reacted to you. It was the system that generated the chart, realizing it had misclassified you. You weren't a node in the pattern. You were a variable the pattern couldn't contain, a pressure point in the architecture of reality, a walking destabilizer of assumptions. And here's the part that made their blood run cold. The chart wasn't showing what you are. It was reacting to what you're becoming. Because your evolution isn't linear. It's not growth. It's not progress. It's not healing. It's activation. Every moment of your life, every betrayal, every night you stayed quiet when you should have burned the room down, every time you swallowed your truth to avoid conflict, every time you rebuilt yourself without applause. All of that was stacking inside you, like unspent voltage. It accumulated, it compressed, it hardened, it coiled, until one day you shifted, and the coil started to unspool. That's why you feel different lately. That itch in your bones, that restlessness, that eerie calm when everything around you is falling apart. That's not fatigue. It's not numbness. It's not burnout. It's your next version booting up. And they saw it before you did. They saw the trajectory bending around you. They saw your pattern break in patterns. They saw your timeline refusing to stay in the shape destiny assigned. When they examined your chart again, slowly, cautiously, as if it might bite, they found something even more disturbing. Your future doesn't follow your past. It diverges, it forks, it spirals, it multiplies. Most people walk down a line. A few walk a path. You walk a spread. You bend possibility. Just by existing, you alter what becomes possible for everyone around you. And that's when they realized this one isn't navigating fate. This one is negotiating with it. You don't obey cycles. You repurpose them. You don't repeat lessons. You evolve beyond their relevance. You don't adapt to the world. The world adapts to you. Slowly, awkwardly, fearfully. You think that eerie calm in your chest is peace? No. It's the stillness before ignition. They know this. They felt it. They watched the symbols melt because they recognized a consciousness that's waking up to itself. Because there are two moments in a human life that shake the architecture of existence. When they are born. When they realize why. And you're standing in the doorway of the second moment. You're not becoming powerful. You're remembering that you always were. You're not awakening. You're returning. Returning to a version of yourself that the world hoped never resurfaced. A version that doesn't flinch, doesn't break, doesn't apologize, doesn't shrink to fit anyone's expectation. A version that uses shadow as strategy and light as weaponry. A version that sees through masks and speaks in truths that shake the room. A version that does not follow fate, but edits it, And when they realized that, that's when the real panic started. Because symbols don't smoke for mortals. They smoke for disruptors. They smoke for anomalies. They smoke for beings who don't simply live inside the story. They warp the narrative structure itself.